pinnacle of the world's fastest, most exhilarating and most dangerous sport, Formula One motor racing. Times change, people change, but not the risks. They're still there to be taken by the breed of supermen who race Formula One, the professional drivers, and we're going to take a look at the breed. Some are with us, some are not, but one input into the sport, both as world champion and latterly as an intensely involved team owner, is Jackie Stewart.
I think motor racing is something that is a very strange commodity. It's a balance. It's something that takes a man to the outer perimeters of life. It gives them an exhilaration, an excitement that perhaps no other thing in the world can ever do.
When you get this high from driving, it's like being in cloud 9. You know, you're above the world and you're experiencing something that's very rare, because in modern society it doesn't allow you to go out to the outer limits of existence. Modern society rolls you up in cotton wool and really overprotects you. When you drive a racing car, you're removing from your body all of those protections. You're very vulnerable. You're putting yourself into a projectile, which sometimes can just be like a ballistic missile.
Another is 3 times world champion Alain Prost. For me, Prost says Formula One is first a sport, second a passion, and now it's become my job. To appreciate my job, I must preserve myself. And now my whole life is dedicated to this sport, Formula One. It's my job, and I think I do it better than most others. I'm 100% dedicated to it, and that, I think, is where I win. Race day, and drivers prepare for the coming race. 26 of the best in the world. Part of their trust is in each other, but more of it in their pit crews, the men who prepare and check over again and again their cars. This is the family of Formula One. And away from the race, week in, week out, they work at testing, developing and fine-tuning both car and driver into one super efficient unit. Take Terry Boots.
En fait, c'est ce qu'il y a de plus important. Ça sert à mettre la voiture au point.
Is very important.
Le résultat de ces essais privés,
you need it to have a good car, and you see the results during the race.
Peu de temps pour régler la voiture,
the driver
du développement.
gets the car from the team, and it's up to the driver to fine-tune it for each circuit.
On arrive avec une sorte de package comme ça, une voiture telle qu'elle a été
There's a whole
définie.
package coming together as one.
Wings,
suspension, transmission, but above all testing and more testing.
On doit régler les appuis aérodynamiques, on doit régler la tension des barres anti-roulis, la dureté des ressorts, les amortisseurs.
To all these fine adjustments if you're going to win. Another man with 3 world titles is this Brazilian,
so much
AYRTON Senna.
To learn and to do it, I believe that for me, the only way to be stronger and to be more self-confident that I'm doing really the maximum that I can do under those circumstances is by concentrating and trying to remember every single detail regarding that situation and to imagine any future problems and therefore get it as right as possible. And you develop it through the year, through the time you develop it.
Même quand on est chez soi, quand on est au restaurant, quand on est dans un avion, on pense à la voiture, on pense à ce qu'on a fait comme
in a restaurant, in a plane, you're always thinking about your car,
ces petites choses qui ne fonctionnent pas,
about how you can improve it, what you can do
pour être le plus compétitif
to
possible.
become more competitive yourself. Alan Prost talks about how first thing each morning he wants to see how his car goes. If the mechanics have made changes, they tell me about them. I can drive my car 7 days a week. I love it so much. My car and I, we merge into one body. It fits me like a glove. We're just one unit together. I know the sport is dangerous, but the car and I become one on the track. I'm trained to be master of the car, but sometimes the car dominates me. Nonetheless, it's a jewel.
Well, I think a racing car is something very special, almost in the breed of an animal. Not only is it like an animal, but it's also like a woman. It's very sensitive, it's very nervous, it's very highly strung. Sometimes it responds very nicely, sometimes it responds very viciously. Sometimes, to get the best out of it, you have to coax it and almost caress it to do the things you want it to do. And even after you've done all these things and the car is doing exactly as you want it to do, it will immediately and with no warning change its mind and do something very suddenly, very abruptly. And then you have to maybe use a different method on the car. You maybe have to give it a real good thrashing to show it who's boss. But more important than anything, you must have a very nice relationship with this car.
Euros. The superstars, sadly, are nowadays remote from their public more and more. Their faces are known only through TV or photographs. On the track, their heads covered by helmets, their bodies by their cars. It's only on the track that they really appear in public today. Again.
Le départ de la course se donne.
The start of the race, he says, is the worst time. It's very, very tense time and everyone is nervous. No matter what the conditions, good weather, bad weather, you know someone's got to win and I just have to be this person.
The best thing is when the red light comes, because then everything goes, it's all programmed, like you say, and everything goes natural then, just go for it. You lose that tension, that expectation, which comes 10 minutes, half hour, 1 hour before the race. Because when the light comes, there's so much concentration to put in there that all goes natural there. Just follow.
Take yourself to the limit of your ability and also the limit of the cars, then you're on such a fine balance between life and death, really at the limit of life. This is something that is very rare. It's something that a man seldom has the opportunity of enjoying and existing and coming back to enjoy it again.
C'est un sport dangereux parce qu'on roule vite. On roule très vite, on prend les courbes à des vitesses.
Boutsen again saying motorsport is very dangerous because it's fast, very, very fast. 300, 305 kilometers an hour. You can leave the roads at these speeds, you're on your own. Safety is very good, there are still risks. But then it's our sport.
motor racing is dangerous, and it never will become completely safe, no matter what anyone does. And of course, people die. During my career as a racing driver, I probably lost more friends than most people. People who were very close to me. The first time it happened to Jim Clark. And I didn't really believe that Jim Clark could be killed. I couldn't believe that he was at all vulnerable. I thought he was impregnable. The next time that it came close to me was with Jochen Rindt. And at that time, I had to go out immediately after Jochen was killed. I had to go out in a racing car. And this was a problem because I had to eliminate my emotions. I had to completely become cold to drive a racing car at a time when I was, in fact, very much affected by his death. I swore that after Jochen died that I would never get friendly with anyone in motor racing again. I said that I would stay remote, I would enjoy them, but I would never allow them to come inside of me. Well, unfortunately, I don't control my emotions as well as I control a racing car. And of course, Francois became more than just a friend. He became part of the family. And then for that accident to happen in Watkins Glen, and what was to be my very last motor race, my 100th Grand Prix, was somehow the ending of my entire motor racing career. Although I had made up my mind to retire many months before, this seemed to be the final curtain. And I suppose all of us, whether we be just normal humans or other kinds of humans, have a little pocket in here, a reserve, something that every time we lose a friend, a member of our family, this little pocket of fluid seeps out and allows the pain and the sorrow and the sadness to be diluted, to be removed in some way, or at least the pain to be endured. But Francois' accident really was the last straw. It was the last thing that could happen to me really in motor racing.
After 99 Grand Prix, Stewart was to retire, but motorsport goes on and his son Paul was later to take to the track. With a new breed of drivers, with the same risks and the same accidents. It's just that today these fearsome crashes, for the most part, end without tragedy. And it's not just the rivals and the circuits that the professional driver is up against. Sometimes it can be the weather.
Une fois vous vous accrochez avec un pilote ou vous manquez un petit peu de
Crossed again. You can collide with another car in the wet and you don't think anything of it. But afterwards you think, I was crazy, I could have died. If the crash had been really big, I could have hurt myself. I'm afraid of accidents, and those who are not are either liars or have no brains. Those are the drivers who take the risks. I'm less afraid of death than of being disabled, but I'm not obsessed by this. crashes obsess me, but not death.
La mort, à la limite, me fait moins peur que l'accident qui me laisserait vraiment de séquelles pendant toute ma vie, la paralysie ou des choses comme ça. Donc, je veux dire, la mort pour moi, c'est pas quelque chose qui m'obsède.
Something we have to face every day.
M'obsède un petit peu.
There's no need to take them unnecessarily. Everything is becoming safer. The driver's survival cell, the circuits, and the backup in case of disaster. Cars are stronger, better equipped. Still, the unforeseen can happen. Ring Andrea de Cesaris. Another one he walked away from. Hockenheim, Germany, and the Renault of Alain Prost, slowing after its qualifying laps, became a launch pad for Didier Pironi's Ferrari. The badly injured Ferrari driver never raced cars again. But he did go on to compete in the World Offshore Powerboat Championship, where eventually he was to die. But not before telling the world that his life as a racing driver and powerboat racer was complete. Patrick Depailler, another in love with the sport, was to die, also at Hockenheim. Niki Lauda, the great Austrian, all but died at the Nürburgring, coming back from the dead to race again. The pull of the sport, so strong. Jacques Lafitte's Formula One career ended at Brands Hatch in a crippling first corner crash, but he came back later to race touring cars. Philippe Streff broke his back in Brazil, but still loves the sport in which he can no longer participate.
It's difficult to stop driving racing cars because you will never, never forget the pleasure that you get when this fine moment arrives when you're both married together, the car and you, at the limit of your abilities.
Riccardo Patrese has contested more Grand Prix than anyone in history, 224 up to the end of 1991. His will to race is as strong as ever, his yearn to add to his wins, no less.
La mia sensazione attuale è che
when I stop driving, he says, I'll leave motorsport completely.
Me ne vado.
But I don't know if I really
Però,
could.
non so se ci
Maybe I
riuscirò,
can
perché
for 2 or 3 years,
per un anno, 2 anni.
but I have it in my blood.
Ma credo che mi sia entrato un po' nel
And I'll probably be back.
quindi come malattia probabilmente tornerò indietro, non lo so.
It's in everybody's blood. That's motorsport. Like Pironi, Lauda, Lafitte, and many, many others. The will to continue to face danger is strong. It's something that's built into all these drivers, the professionals. Something they can never give up. most professional of all drivers, have the final word. I don't know if we have something more or less than other people, but we're not normal.
On n'est pas normaux, quoi.